Welcome to Swift programming language, and today I want to talk with you about loops. So as always, let's create a simple Swift file. So the most popular loop in Swift is a for in loop, and let me show you an example of the simplest one. So we provide for, and then we provide a variable that will be created for each loop. If you use variable for index, it is usually I, and then you provide in which collection you want to perform these loops. So to do it, you provide in, and then you provide a collection. So for the simplest example, we can provide a collection using range like this. So the range is from 1 to 100. And then inside braces, we provide a content, a code that will be executed per each loop. So let's say that we just want to print the current value of I. So this is the construction for a simple for in loop, and let's try if it is actually working. So we'll execute our file, and yeah, we can see that the numbers were printed on the screen here. So if we go back here, let's dive in a little bit more details. So first of all, let's talk about this range. So I provided for I in from 1 to 100, and this is inclusive on both sides. So it printed both 1 and 100. And if we want to exclude 100 from here, I could replace the third dot. I could replace it with a less sign, and it should exclude 100 from the loop. Let's check. Yeah, now we can see that the last number here is 99. Okay, so this one, this example is kind of not the best, because often I find that I use this loop to iterate over elements of some collection. So let's create a collection. So we will create an array with the numbers inside. So 12, 43, 56, I don't know, just some numbers, because this one is too big. And then we can iterate, instead of iterating in this range, we can iterate in collection. So let's call our element, let's call element instead of I. We could keep I, but I really use I only for index, so I would not recommend to use I here. And for element in collection. Okay, so what do we want to do here? Let's find the biggest number and print it. So I will create another variable, biggest number, and for now let's set it to 0. And then here I will compare if element is bigger than our biggest number, then we will assign biggest number to element. So quite simple conditional thing here. And as a last step, we need to print our biggest number. Okay, I believe that's it. Let's try to execute it. Okay, we see that it says that the biggest number is 88. Let's check. Well, it looks like it's correct. Our biggest number is 88. Let's just in case change one of our numbers to 100. Yeah, it seems to be working fine. So if we want lowest number, we can do a similar thing. Let's change it to lowest number, and for this one it's better to assign to the first element of collection. I believe index is starting from 0, and then we will iterate in the collection and check if our our element is actually lower than lowest number, and then we will assign lowest number to the element. Okay, and we are printing, of course, again lowest number. Okay, so let's execute it. It says 23. Okay, it looks like it is correct again, and just to be sure, let's try to change this one to 11. And now the lowest one is 11. It's pretty simple stuff. And you can iterate in a lot of different collections. You can use dictionaries, you can use arrays of arrays or arrays of dictionaries. You can iterate in each character in a string. So you can do all kinds of stuff with this construction. But this is only just one type of loop. There is another one, and it's called while loop. Okay, so to write a while loop, I believe you start with while, and then you provide the condition for this loop. For example, maybe let's first create an index, and so y equals 1 here, and then we provide while I is less than 10. We perform some actions. First, let's print I, and then let's increase I by 1. Okay, it should be good. Let's try it. Swift. Oh, of course, I forgot to declare a variable here. Let's try again. Okay, now we have numbers printed from 1 to 9. But so you will ask what's the difference. Well, in this case there is no difference between for and while, but we don't have to iterate through all of these numbers. For example, we can say something like this: if I equals 5, then I plus equal 2. And you can see here we skipped 2 numbers in this case. So we can do all kinds of stuff. We could have something like this. We can have a Boolean variable and repeated equals false, and then we could also have something like this: if I equals 7 and repeated, and actually not repeated, then I equals 1. And of course also we need I equals 1 and repeated equals true, so it will not stuck. Okay, let's try if it works or not. Yeah, you can see it went from 0 to 4, then again from 0 to 4, and only then from 7 to 9. Okay, so other thing that we can have another construction, we can have a repeat while. So not while, but repeat while. And what's the difference? So in case we have some situation where this condition never works. For example, if if I less than 1, so it is never less than 1. So I suppose that nothing should happen. Let's check it. Yeah, so no output here. So if the condition doesn't fit, nothing will happen. But in case when we actually want this to execute at least once, we can do something like this: repeat, and then here while I is less than 1. Okay, I hope this is right. Let's try it out. Okay, now we can see that it repeated at least once, but not more, because this condition it is never true. And of course you can have something not comparing one value to another, but some other attributes. You can track time, just an example, and if it is past some time, then you can stop this loop. So I believe this is it for loops. If you have any suggestions or comments, please leave them in the section below, and I will see you in the next video.